Okay, greetings. Firstly, I'd like to say hello to Susan Byrne and David, who are in the live chat. Thanks for joining us so early. Susan says she's first here, absolutely. Not for the first time either. And David says, looked into the Sabina Nessa story and couldn't find anything to do with Freemasonry apart from the photo of her with the mortarboard hat on. Sabina Nessa, that is actually isn't something I am familiar with. We can certainly look it up tonight. I also, the title of this evening's live stream is False Scarcity, so we will certainly touch on that subject. I'm going to start my timer, 5 minutes, and the live stream will start properly. I do just want to make sure everything sounds okay, so please bear with me. Thanks. Mudlark, greetings, thanks for joining us. Glad you could tune in. We will be getting going very soon. I just want to make sure everything sounds okay before. Sure. Yeah, that sounds all right. Okay, I'm going to play him with a video. It's a few minutes long. It's about 4 or 5 minutes long, I think. It is by the YouTuber JT33. To be honest, I think the last live stream I did, I played in with this, and I do like this song. I'm going to put a link in the chat to this video and this person's channel. Very talented musician, in my opinion. If you want to check them out, I recommend it. Gao's Revenge by JT33. That is the name of the channel. Playing music. Okay, right, without further ado then, I will mute myself. Maria Ellender, greetings and thanks for joining us. I'm going to mute my audio. We'll play in the music, and when I come back we will be starting the live stream. Okay, this is Gao's Revenge by JT33. He sometimes tunes in on the live stream. Alright, bear with us. Alright, here, I'm going to mute myself now and we'll play the video. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. In fact, I'll start the timer. You can see that in the bottom right of your screen. And yeah, thanks everyone who's already joined in and commented in the live chat. Much appreciated. I'll be back momentarily.
Extreme conditions leading to extreme concern. As scientists say, climate change shows no signs of slowing its deadly rampage.
Scientists have predicted this for the last 70 years, but it's actually happening more quickly and it's more intense than we realized.
Shows no signs of slowing. Scientists now say it would have been virtually impossible without human-caused climate change. Conditions now fueling infernos across the region, making the fires bigger and more destructive. The sea level's rising, and the media is lying. It's a means for control. The story we're told, waging forever a war on your side. Where will you go?
Where will you go when the sea levels rise up to swallow you? Just another politically partisan issue. They seem to follow you. Sounds to me like a psyop. I'll cut off the head of the Cyclops. His lies are incredibly venomous. He's spitting that ridiculous sadistic shit. Sadomasochist. I'll be spontaneous. Some blockbuster must be getting dangerous with this outrageousness. I'll play like this for so long, I'll really stay like this. Yo, jot it down and put it on the misinformation list and step back to the line. I've crossed all my T's and dotted my I's, trying to redefine what is left on the inside. of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Can anyone guess what's coming next? Just how long do we remain locked down, vaccinated and muzzled with Big Brother's foot on our necks? This life is a test to put forward the best of you. That is the quest for you. Learn to be humble. You gotta grow from your slips and your stumbles. Forget what the media mumbles. Then sit back and watch as the narrative crumbles. When all that you think that you thought that you knew was a lie. This is a war on your mind, body and soul. They're waging for total control. It's just a part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. Just part of the system of lies that we're born into. To keep you in fear is the war that they wage on you. The sea level's rising, and the media's lying. It's a means for control. The story we're told, waging forever the war inside. Where will you go?
Parched conditions now fueling infernos across the region, making the fires bigger and more destructive.
The sea level's rising, and the media's lying. It's a means for control. The story we're told, waging forever the war inside. Where will you go?
Okay, that was JT33. The link is in the live chat, and if you're watching this after the live stream, I will also put it in the description. A couple of comments. David says, did you hear that the only people who will be taken, have you heard that only people who have taken 2 doses of poison will be able to enter the USA from November? I guess the rest of the world will follow. Mudlark, no, thanks for sharing that information. That isn't something I'd heard of. I do wonder though, I mean, pretty much like here in the UK, up till September, the beginning of September, we were hearing constantly poison passports, left, right and centre. You're going to need poison passports to enter any crowded venue, and then right at the last moment they scrapped it. So I'm always a little suspicious. I do sometimes think that these kind of warnings that, oh yeah, we're only going to let people that have had all the poison come in, and no doubt by that point they'll be requiring boosters as well. I always wonder how much of that is just trying to promote the product and how much of it is true. I'm curious to look at that news story. Also, one that David mentioned about Sabina, where was it? No. Sorry, getting there. Right, yes, something about Sabina Nessa. Now, that isn't a news story I have particularly heard of. So I'm happy to have a look at that one. In fact, if I share my screen now, in a second, we'll get right underway. David also says, has anyone noticed on the program Tipping Point. They have the COVID symbols in the background. I've not watched that recently, but it doesn't surprise me. I don't doubt that isn't it on the £20 note? They've got loads of symbology that could. Yeah, let's have a quick look. Okay, I'll share my screen and we'll cover a couple of the subjects that have been mentioned so far. Right, so let's, first of all, Sabina Nessa. This is not a story I'm in the least bit familiar with. So, David says the only links to Freemasonry was a photo of her in a mortarboard. It does, of course, involve a 36-year-old man being arrested. Now, that might not specifically be anything to do with Freemasonry, although it is, of course, their dual numbers. When did this happen? 26th of September, so this is a proper new story. Terrible picture quality, of course, as always. Let's see. The 28-year-old... Okay, Sabina Ness, a significant development as 36-year-old man arrested on suspicion of murder. Of course, they always get their numbers in. The 28-year-old had been on her way home, on her way to meet a friend at a pub near South London when she was killed in an attack that has triggered a renewed wave of public anger over violence against women. There's one story that's always getting pushed. Women are targeted constantly by men. Right, detectives investigating the murder of a teacher, Sabina Nessa, have arrested a 36-year-old man in what Scotland Yard said is a significant development. I will ask this question. I don't know when this happened. Oh, here we go. The suspect... Right, yeah, I don't know when this murder took place, but as we've said before, whenever a death happens, how soon is it that they release all the information, like, immediately? Okay, it happened on the 17th of September, so they have at least given a little bit of time, 9 days. Although, right, here's the original story about the attack. We'll have a look. Let's see. So it happened on the 17th. Surely, in order to inform family members in a decent time, they wouldn't have reported that immediately, would they? What date was it reported? 23rd. Okay. So 17, 18, 19, 20. They waited 6 days before they released the information on this person. All right. Let's see if anything else sticks out. Ms. Nessa had been on her way to meet a friend at a pub near her home when she was attacked in Cater Park, Kidbrooke, in the Royal Borough of Greenwich, 17th September. The body of the 28-year-old was discovered by a member of the public the following day. Announcing the arrest, Detective Chief Inspector Neil John from the Met Specialist Crime said Sabina's family have been informed of this development and they continue to be supported by specialist officers. But hope you don't mind pictures of your family member being splashed across every newspaper. And of course, we do know hundreds of people get attacked and killed every probably week, maybe even every day. So when they highlight one particular person, I personally always think that's a bit suspect. Jabina Yasmin Islam, Nessa's sister, broke down as she addressed crowds. Didn't take her long to get over the grief and get in front of the cameras. We will watch this little story and I will get back to the live chat. Apologies if anyone has said anything I have not, if anyone has commented who I haven't greeted. Let's see. Mudlight says, when do you see Asian women in pubs? Ooh, yeah, good point actually. That is a bit of a rarity. Especially if she was Muslim, it would be highly unlikely. Mudlight says it sounds like Sounds like a BS story. Yeah, sounds like just another story to prop up their usual agendas of keeping people in fear, keeping people divided, bit of division between, keep women afraid of men, keep men afraid of going out and doing or saying anything that might get them in trouble. Right, we'll watch this video and see how genuine
I
this.
just want to say thank you for everyone who came against you.
Real tears? Oh, see, the annoying thing with this is that you cannot pause the video to see if she's really crying or not. We could do a screenshot, I guess. Hang on.
We have such an amazing caring.
Oh, that didn't work out very well. Hang on. Well, it did. Let's just get a quick close-up on this one. And we'll zoom in on Sabina's sister. See if we can see any tears. Right, what is wrong with this? I think my computer's struggling already. How do you zoom in? Sorry guys, we'll get there in a minute. We will watch the rest of this one. Goodness me. Okay, bear with me. I'm not even sure how to shut this. Do you want to save the changes? Don't save. Yeah, of course we will be looking at fuel shortages soon. Oh, that screenshot's gone. Right, hang on. We'll go back to playing the video and I'll try and get a better screenshot and just see if there's genuine tears coming out of Sister's eyes or what.
I just want to say thank you for everyone who came against you, showing support and respect for my sister.
Okay, we got one. We got a close-up.
We have such an amazing, caring, beautiful sister who left this world far too early. She didn't reach her 29th term today next month. Sabina loved her family.
Okay, her eyes do look a bit moist actually.
My parents have lost their daughter, and my girls have lost such a brilliant, loving, caring auntie who dearly loved her. Words cannot describe how we are feeling. This feels like we are stuck in a bad dream.
Funny, now the tears have started. She's no longer sobbing. I mean, when she was originally sobbing like that. Hang on. Let's open up the picture we've got. And we will see. And we'll have a look. How upset was she really? Hang on. Let's stretch the picture out. See, I mean, good actors can, of course, make themselves cry. And that, I wonder if that's what she was doing, because as we can see here, as she was sobbing and retching, her eyes are dry as a bone, but once she starts crying, once tears start coming, she then quits all that.
But her world is shattered. We have simply lost for words. No family should go through what we are.
And she's really speaking from the heart here, of course, reading every single line out of that scripted bit off her phone. Really coming from the heart on this one.
Through. Once again, thank you for everyone for coming and showing your support for my sister. Thank you.
She actually looked quite happy towards the end of that interview. Wonder if they've got a GoFundMe thing. That for me would be a biggie if there was a GoFundMe. Hang on. We will just look for that. In fact, we'll go to the original story and see if they'd set one up by that point. Oh, they originally arrested a man in his 40s. That didn't go anywhere. And of course, they then moved it to a 36-year-old man. It is quite a long story. I am curious whether, let's see, GoFundMe. Oops. We will move on from this story in a minute. Thank you for sharing it, by the way. I believe it was David or Mudlark. Let me just confirm. Yeah, it was David who originally suggested we look into this. That's Sabina. Oh, not getting anywhere. Right. Nessa. GoFundMe page launched for, oh no, not necessarily anything to do with Sabina. Maybe she hasn't got a GoFundMe. Furry enough if she hasn't. I'm going to have to shut down some of my tabs as yeah, I don't immediately see any fundraising. Although, of course, campaigners, male violence, campaigning, basically raising money, raising awareness. The more awareness they can get, the more funding I guess they probably end up with. That isn't anything to do with this, is it? Oh, hang on. Unfortunately, my computer's taken a long time to load. Often happens. Right, I'll have a quick look at the live chat. Susan says, Mudlight says fake crime. Susan says crime doesn't look like real grief. David, a good actress tears as well, but it was the bloke that come up to her and holds the mic. Okay. Mudlight says exactly, why would she need to read from a script? Yeah. It's a bit suspect. And then Maria says, 2 people I know have been taken seriously ill following double shots of Vaseline. One has been admitted with blood clots on the lung. The other is 20 years old and pregnant and had a stroke. Do you know, I was actually pleased to see, just on that subject, I did see a relatively newborn baby today, and it was kind of a relief because I was thinking the other week how I'd barely seen any newborn babies. Come on, why is this taking so long? I'll just check. My stream is still going. Excellent connection. Yep, seems to be working. It won't let us load up the page about GoFundMe. And what was the other one? People only double poisoned people being allowed into the USA. Yeah, will this become a real situation? USA, if I put that and go to news, where is it? Oh, we're already on news, are we? The USA. We will soon go on to our main subject, well, the primary subject of the live stream, which is looking at false scarcity. What is it? Right, entering USA. Oh, I can't spell. Right, USA. Double vaccinated. US lifting ban for double vaccinated UK and EU travellers. Okay. USA opens up travel to vaccinated holidaymakers. What does it mean for cruises? France to double vaccine doses for poorer countries. Dr. Fauci assures people vaccinated with AstraZeneca will be allowed to travel. Well, why wouldn't? I mean, okay. To be honest, I mean, I would like to see America, of course I would, but not that desperately. Not so desperately that I would take that rubbish. Dr. Fauci, basically, if you're from the UK, I think he's the America's equivalent to, is it Chris Whitty or something? That really bizarre looking creature. Dr. Fauci, the US chief coronavirus advisor, stated that anyone who is fully vaccinated with Zeneca will be able to enter the US in 2 months. News reports show. Oh, new reports show. Okay. Never miss a story, right? As the US Biden administration has announced on Tuesday that the US travel ban will be lifted from November. So are they saying that at the moment they're not allowing anyone to enter the United States? I wasn't aware of that actually. I don't follow this that closely, but so they're not specifically saying just double jab people will be allowed in. They're just saying that from in 2 months' time, double jabbed will be allowed in. Many wondered whether those vaccinated with AstraZeneca would be included. Speaking to the BBC, the American chief advisor said he anticipated that it would be accepted among travellers despite not being used on the country's own citizens. I don't believe there's any reason to believe that people who have received the AZ should feel that there is going to be any problems with them. I am not sure about all of them, but the specific one about AZ, given that we have a substantial amount of information, what's that, about how many people are ill, without being definite, I would predict that there would not be a problem there. I'm sure that's very reassuring. It's not like Fauci 1 minute talks about said one thing like, we don't recommend masks for members of the public, and then a month later is telling people that the only way they can live their life is by wearing a mask. It's not like they chop and change every 2 minutes, hey? Right. David said, if my daughter had been attacked, Kate Middleton wouldn't be sending her condolences. No, David, you're absolutely right. I haven't seen anything about Kate Middleton, to be fair, but of course that would be one of the first people that send their condolences. Have we got the GoFundMe page up yet? Okay, that is unrelated. GoFundMe page launched for owners of Burke's Digger on the Darling After Fire. Nothing to do with that woman. Why it showed up then in the search, I don't know. Perhaps it gets mentioned down here. Possibly. Okay. David says a candle was placed on the doorstep of number 10. Is that a reference? I'm guessing that's for Sabina. Yeah, that's very over the top, isn't it? As you quite rightly said, if it was anyone who you happen to know, any of your family or my family or anyone else that was in this situation, I doubt they would even get a mention. They might get in the local news, but they might get maybe a 2 minutes segment on the national news or a tiny little column, but they certainly would not be getting the sort of coverage that Sabina got with people like Kate. Was it Kate Garraway, did you say? Oh, Kate Middleton, sorry. Kate Middleton wouldn't be sending condolences. No, whenever those people are involved, you know it's just one of their own stories. Okay, let's see. Where are we then? Was there anything? Right, Maria says 2 people you know. I've already read this, but I will reread it. 2 people you know that have been taken seriously ill. Fortunately, I don't know anyone directly who I can definitely say has become ill from that. Well, I don't know. I know one person that's reported quite severe disruptions to their menstrual cycle. And that was immediately after, I think, the first one. Do you think that stopped them getting the second one? No, not a chance. They jumped straight in and got the second shot. I also know someone who said that their family, so again, friend of a friend, take this anecdote with a pinch of salt, but I do trust the person that told me. He said his in-laws had been diagnosed with blood clots like a week after taking one of them, but the doctor had told him it was unrelated, which I find hard to believe. So, and yeah, as I said, I also know a couple of people in the last, since the poison has been released and on sale, and it is on sale, whether you, even if you're paying for it or not, directly, then it is still, every person they stab is money going to the manufacturers. That's just how it works. I mean, it might look like it's all on the NHS, but I mean, what is the NHS? It's publicly funded. For me, I mean, you think of all these tests, for example, rapid flow tests, which by their own admission are not accurate enough to diagnose a positive test, because if you test positive, you then have to have another test, which is then sent to a laboratory. Ridiculous amounts of public money is being spent on them. They're now giving, then people that want to travel are now given, to certain countries are given free tests. So again, it isn't free, it's public money being spent on it. And I can see a few years down the line, we're going to be saying something like how, we're going to say, it was testing and vaccines that absolutely crippled the economy worse than the lockdown ever did, probably. Because I can see huge, the country going into massive debt on this one. But we'll see. Time will tell on that. I am also hopeful that eventually they're just going to stop talking about it. Perhaps they'll go back to talking about other ridiculous stories such as Taliban and Afghanistan. But we'll see. David says, food shortages coming for Christmas. Well, here we go. Maria, sorry, just read. Excuse me. Mudlark says, going back to the Sabina thing, Kate Middleton also visited the memorial for Sarah Everard earlier this year. Well, there you go. I mean, for me, Sarah Everard was a very blatant one. It was as clear as day that was a fabricated, arranged news story. If Kate Middleton gets involved, if the Prime Minister gets involved, if it's splashed across all the mainstream medias, like front pages, as it were, what used to be front pages, now websites, then yeah, you can, for me, that's enough of a giveaway that it's their own story. Such as stories like this. Petrol shortages. David says food shortages coming for Christmas. Unfortunately, I don't doubt that. It takes very little for... I mean, all it would take really is one or two news stories and just saying, shops might be a bit low, and people will immediately panic buy. We have a story... I mean, I'll show you what this actually reminds me of in a minute. We'll watch this 58-second video of fight breaks out on petrol station forecourt as panic buying frustrations boil over. Brawl breaks out as some petrol stations run out of fuel amid unprecedented demand. Let's see how much demand really is there. But alright, we'll watch this then. Of course, shaky cam.
There's your diesel for you.
Nice little advert there for Londis in the background. Always get a bit of publicity in.
There's no diesel left.
Yeah, ridiculous fights. Well, oh, get that number in now. Maybe it's coincidence, but 136. They've got their 36 in. Oh, there's two fights going on at once. I see. What's that car reg? I'd be interested to know. B3, 23. Of course, B is a 2. There's your 3. RGS, I don't know. But there's another coded 23. Oh, look, makes the game. Hang on. We saw at the end of that they were all shaking hands.
Eat Special K.
I particularly want to see this. Right, if I mute it, and then I would like to replay that because it was interesting. Right at the end, they were all buddies again. Here we go. We'll jump right to the end. Right, see these guys? I think they were scrapping a minute ago. Now they're all shaking. Was that the two that were fighting? Oh yeah, let's forget all that. We did our bit for the camera. Yep, that was the same two people. Fighting 1 minute, up shaking each other's hands the next. How stupid. We do, of course, have more videos of these brawls. Orange Pants, get the orange coded 33 in there. Right, how did that original fight break out? Between, see this one here, just under the letter R and S, him and the guy in the big puffer jacket. How do theirs end up? He originally starts... Yeah, they conveniently have the camera too high there. Look at that, open-handed slap on his arm. Wow, big punches being thrown there. Terrible. Yep, just do it for the cameras. I mean, it looks kind of aggressive, but I don't think any real force or any real genuine punches are being thrown here. But this is how you convince people of scarcity. Oh, there's petrol shortages. People go to a forecourt and you literally have to fight to get yourself petrol. Rubbish. Where have we seen this before? We will have a look at some other footage in a second. But it's these two at the back. Here we go. These two. They've just been fighting it out for however long. Unless he's restraining them, of course. Come on, mate. Get up. All forgotten. We've finished filming now. All done. Yeah, well done. You did your part well. That is ridiculous. Yeah, there is, as I say, more footage of fights breaking out. So, there was another story. Right, yeah, here's another one. Hang on, bear with me. Alright, I think this is in Ireland. Let's see if they manage to do slightly better pitch quality. Let's see if the Irish can do any better, put it that way.
The way that I use drop.
Of course, we have to watch an advert first. I'll mute it if I can. All these news stories are so important that, of course, they put a 45-second advert at the start of each one. all these videos and stuff, it's basically clickbait. That is all it is. Right, Hawthorne Gemini on Instagram. I wonder who or what they are. Wonder if they're a reporter. We'll have a look in a minute. All got their crash helmets on. Not much going on there. Not really what I'd consider newsworthy. Oh, this is basically the same video clip, just played over and over. We'll go back to the beginning. It's about 5 seconds that goes on for. Here we go. Kicked him in the hand, I believe. But of course, they're all protected with their helmets. Right, so we were going to have a look at the person Hawthorne Gemini on Instagram. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, it's dangerous me getting on Instagram because I do sometimes start going on other subjects. Right, Instagram. Perhaps we'll go straight onto Instagram. And I will also check my spelling. Hawthorne Gemini, yeah, that's what I spelled. I will be checking out the live chat in 1 second. Hawthorne Gemini. I'm guessing this is them. Well, they too happen to be part of the motorbike crew by the look of it. The WAP is fake. I wonder what that means. Oh, the weapon is fake, I guess they mean. Yeah, the gun. Okay. So, by the looks of it, they dress up and look scary. Say, if you wanted some pictures of a mugging, say someone stealing from, mugging a delivery driver, you hear about that a lot, then these are the sort of people you go to. You say, can you bring a fake weapon, look a bit menacing. I'm assuming this is the same person. I wonder if he's got any Masonic rings on him. Who knows? Not sure what they are. I'm guessing this is the same person, but... Oh, what's this he's got? Is this another big news story? 2-man street shutdown. Oh, I don't know. That is unrelated. I want to see if he's posted the images of the fight that he caught. Assuming this is the same guy, but I think it is, because everyone else seems to have... He is Hawthorne Gemini. Let's see. Yeah, Hawthorne Gemini Instagram. Same one. Right, I did have a story from the Telegraph. Was it? No, the Express. Yes, so is there an agenda behind the petrol shortage? What could it be? Are they hoping perhaps to encourage the purchase of anything else? Let's have a quick look at this story. Analysis of Google search data reveals that online searches for electronic cars in the UK exploded 1,600% yesterday. There's, 16, whatever. Right, the fuel crisis has been dominating headlines as millions of Britons struggle to find petrol, with queues being seen around the country. Searches for terms like electronic cars, best electronic cars, jumped at least 1,350%. Google Trend data show that there were many breakout questions being asked, with drivers looking to find out more about electric vehicles. Could this be a bit short-sighted though? You think, okay, we've got fuel shortages at the minute, so if I go and buy an electric car, surely that will mean I'll never have to run low on power in my car. Right, the question, when will all cars be electric at a spike interest of more than 5,000%? Wouldn't it be an interesting time when all cars are electric? Would they be more easy to control, for example? The government looks set to move ahead with its ban on the sale of new petrol and diesel cars. The decision has been met with a mixed response, some praising the environmental benefits, others saying it will unfairly impact those who cannot afford electric vehicles. A spokesperson for Car Guide commented on the findings, says it showed it's interesting to see how a shortage of fuel for petrol and diesel at the petrol stations can cause such a massive hike in online searches for electric cars. This is, of course, assuming that we're not going to have any electricity shortages in the coming years. Right, I will look at the live chat. Bear with me. Yes, so is this story all just to try and promote people? I mean, that picture sums it all up. Garage closed for fuel, a man plugging in his electric car. But as I say, very short-sighted if you think that they wouldn't all of a sudden limit electricity. Will we have power outages? I believe it was David who said that food shortages could be coming for Christmas. Again, doesn't surprise me. Apparently there is not actually a fuel shortage. I was reading a story just the other day. Is there petrol? And apparently, no, there's absolutely no shortage of petrol. It is all just a logistics problem. Where was it? Was it the Daily Express? I actually thought I'd opened the page, but apparently I have not. Here we go. This might... Actually, it might have been ITV News I was looking at. Yeah, this is it. Here we go. So is there shortages of fuel in the United Kingdom? What do ITV News say? Here we go. Is there a shortage of fuel in the UK? There's no shortage of fuel, of petrol or diesel in the UK. It's caused by issue with transporting fuel from distribution terminals to forecourts. Due to difficulties with transporting fuel. Hang on, haven't they been transporting fuel for like ever? Why has it all of a sudden become a problem? Due to the difficulties, BP told the government last Thursday it would restrict deliveries of petrol and diesel to ensure continuity of supply. That doesn't make sense. So in order to ensure the continuity of supply, you mean continuity of the shortage, they're going to restrict deliveries. Yeah, good idea. Mr. Hoffer told the government that this will mean 80% of services levels to 90% of BP forecourts, and that most locations as a result will not be restocked for 1.5 days a week. Mrs. Hoffer said that every week the company experiences tens of stockouts at the 12,000 sites it supplies. When this happens, forecourts are coned off and temporarily closed. So no, there is no actual shortage of fuel. They've just decided they're going to limit the amount of fuel they supply. Let's hope one day E.ON or British or whoever does the electricity board don't decide, well, we're going to ensure the continuity of supply, we're going to shut down the electricity supply for 1 day out of whatever they said on this. 1.5 days a week, no electricity. Right. Mudlight says they market it as free, but it's paid by taxes. Of course, I'm going back now to what we were saying about free tests, free jabs. Absolutely correct. David, it's the winter of discontent. Power cuts make sure you have plenty of candles. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be surprised. I do remember before the summer we did have one power cut, and that is the only one I can remember. But apparently that was to do with workmen dug cut through a cable or something. But yeah, we will see. I totally agree, David. I think it will be. I think it will be more of the same. Mudlark says people are not supposed to use their mobile phones in petrol stations. Yeah, very good point, actually. Susan says that looked like an old B movie. Yeah, not even as good as that, in my opinion. I've seen more convincing fighting. Do you remember the actual original Batman and Robin series where you had kapow over the screen? That looked more realistic to me. Let's see if we can find a little clip of that, actually. 1 second. Batman and Robin fight Joker. Just to give in case any of you don't remember, haven't seen this before. Okay, it's age restricted. Yeah. Let's watch it on YouTube then. Hopefully I won't get me copyright struck, but this is the sort of rubbish you saw in the forecourts. Holy summons those. Lamped. Okay, they're taking the mick here a little bit, I think. That is better than what we saw in that forecourt. That is more realistic. Okay, let's carry on looking down the live chat. Mudlight says, maybe it's contrived to get us to accept electric vehicles because electricity never runs out. No, of course it doesn't, Mudlark. I'm sure we'll never get power cuts. I have seen, actually, some petrol stations... Sorry, not petrol stations. Some car parks allow you to fill up electric cars for free. That looks quite good. Of course, all just to get people interested in these cars. I can see a day where, self-driving cars have been talked about for a long time. That isn't necessarily a new thing. But imagine how much control they could have over your vehicle if you had to sign in. Every time you wanted to drive, you had to sign in with your Google account or some such. Whereas obviously with a fuel car, petrol, you can just override it and start the engine, maybe, if you know what you're doing. Not so much with... I just get the impression that electric could be a lot easier to control. Oh. And we'll see. There we go. Irk. Thrown. I don't think that's a real cat. Yeah, this is the sort of fighting I was referring to, where Batman and Robin would always batter a load of people. They'd always end up losing the first fight. They would get tied up, sent up like in a hot air balloon, which would never come back down. But they'd always find a way out of it. So, this, for example, they could use this particular video, they could use to publicise a... Oh, poor cat. They could use to publicise boat shortages. We've got a shortage on cruises at the minute. People are literally fighting to get on a cruise line. Like the last opportunity to go on a cruise without being poisoned with 2 shots of poison. Okay, back to the live chat. David, if there's a shortage of lorry drivers, why don't they get the army? And that's what they said months ago. Very true. Yeah, if you're absolutely right. If that is all that's holding it up. I've not actually seen how bad it is. The last time I went anywhere near a fueling station, which was a few days back, it seemed alright, it was just normal. I don't know if this shortage had come out or not. I think we might have one more picture of a fight on a forecourt. Let's see.
All in the hand.
We do, of course,
That's
have to
why
watch.
Gretchen now offset.
I think this is it. Graphic content. Okay. Okay. We'll get there in a minute. We'll see the story. Oh, is this the same one? Let's see. Oh, we have seen this one yet. Right, what these do remind me of. Fights break out toilet rolls. We had exactly the same thing back when we supposedly had massive shortages of toilet roll. This is going back to 2020 and is from Sky News Australia.
Meanwhile, the panic of purchasing toilet paper has reached a new low.
Again, all slapping each other's hands, not really doing anything.
Video has emerged of an alarming scene in a Sydney supermarket of two women coming to blows in an argument over the right to buy multiple packets of toilet tissue. As the brawl threatened to escalate, the store manager stepped in to try to restore law and order.
I just want one pack. No, not one pack. What's the limit? It's 5 minutes. Guys, I need everyone to back off right now. No.
Ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. Oh, greatest Walmart fight ever, Charleston, October 2015. I wonder again if this might be Black Friday, do they call it? Where don't they claim people start scrapping over like 3-year-old television sets that are being sold for like 10% off or something? I mean, this could be a legitimate fight. No, of course it isn't. What are we on about? This guy don't seem bothered, does he, in the blue? Who knows? Maybe that's real. I'm not sure. We've, of course, had fuel shortages in the past. Didn't they have one back to do with something? I mean, obviously crude oil comes from, well, a lot of it comes from like Iraq, the Middle East. Didn't we have fuel shortages back when they were supposedly fighting in Iraq? I'm not sure. Right, I'm going to look at the live chat. David, there's only a shortage if they want there to be a shortage. Absolutely correct. Again, I often talk about the book and film 1984. In that, in fact, I'd be interested to see if I could find a quote from that. Bear with me a sec. 1984 PDF. They actually talked about it in the book 1984. They said like every so often they would just tell people that there were shortages of things, and it kept. Right, is there any way of searching without reading the whole thing? Oh, it would take me far too long, I think. But yeah, I do remember them saying stuff about the razor blades were... Oh, I would probably have to download it in order to... I do recommend reading this book, by the way, if you're not familiar with it. Of course, take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, remember, it is a mainstream book. It is also got its own narrative. And Oh yeah, I mean I can't. Unfortunately, I cannot find it. Although, right, 1984, razor shortages. 1984 quotes. Here we go. Here we go. Right. At any given moment, there was some necessary article which the party's shops were unable to supply. Sometimes it was buttons, sometimes it was darning wool, sometimes it was shoelaces. At present, it was razor blades. This quote reveals that this society's government is based off of a socialist form of government, something Americans feared would happen during and after World War II. Russians and Welsh were evenly distributed throughout the population. Attention, comrades, this is a quote from the book. We have glorious news for you. We have won the battle for production. Returns now completed of the output of all classes of consumption goods show that the standard of living has risen by no less than 20% over the past year. Constant news bulletins would inform the citizens of how great their country is doing, but this proves to be false. Yeah, I remember the character Winston would always remember that something about chocolate rations. Basically, they would reduce the ration of chocolate, and yet they would tell people that they had more now than they ever did. Whether that gets mentioned in here. Oh, do you know what? I will put a link to this, the 1984, the Real Review blog, just as I used the piece from there. It's only fair that I share a link in the live chat. Paste. Okay, 1984 article. Right, I do want to keep up the live chat. I'm sure I had some other things I wanted to look at this evening. Well, we've been going for an hour already, believe it or not. So I probably will be going for about another half an hour or so. Massive thanks to everyone who's taken part in the live chat. DJ Carrera, thanks for joining us. Actually, DJ Carrera, I believe I noticed that you had left a comment on one of my videos recently, and I never properly looked at it, so thank you, and apologies if I haven't replied to it. I was looking for it just the other day, and it was a link to something, so I was actually curious to see what the link was. Bear with me, let's see. There we go. Oh, it was indeed you, Mr. Carrera. I'm not sure what you were linking to, but I tell you what, just in case, I'm going to hide the screen in case it's something I'm not prepared to show. And then we'll... Oh, what have I done? Okay, I'll just check what that link was, but whatever it was, yeah, so apologies for not replying to your comment. I'll see what you linked to. In fact, if we do have a short interval of a few minutes, Design for Your Mind. Okay. Oh, I'm with you now. Sorry, Sabina Nessa's sister. You shared a video of Sabina Nessa. Thank you, DJ Carrera. It was something we actually looked at a little bit earlier in the video. Yeah, it wasn't a story I had come across. Right, I'll just catch up on some of the live chat. DJ says, evening all. So Phil McCann was the BBC reporter on the fuel crisis, but this is one of many weird names that coincide with the story. The news is complete propaganda. That can't be true, surely. BBC, I mean, well, of course it could be true, but Phil McCann, yeah, that's that's mockery in your face. And you're absolutely correct, Mr. Carrera. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's got to be... Yeah, well spotted on that one. Right. David says, when we get the power cut, remember my name, Bobby. I certainly will. I think you're absolutely correct. I agree with you. I think we will at some point get... I think shortages could be a very real thing. Hopefully not, but let's see. It is interesting, actually. The Bible, the book of Deuteronomy, I believe, all through the Bible, it teaches about, it mentions the Festival of Booths, which is got another name. Apparently it is taking part now. It isn't something I personally have observed this year, but if you think about it, perhaps it could be a good idea. What it is instructions for how people should live in like temporary accommodation when, before the return of the Messiah, his true followers will be chased into the wilderness, and they'll have to live on, well, they have to live basically in little huts built from trees and leaves, and it's basically God's way of teaching people to be ready for it. 7 days every year, he suggests people... let's just have a quick look at this story, actually. But it kind of ties in. Festival of Booths. I misspelled that slightly, but I'm sure they know what I mean. Sukkot. Apparently that is actually now taking place. Yeah, by all accounts, it is to get people prepared to a time when they won't necessarily have electricity, they won't necessarily have a TV or hot running water. Your mindset may well need to be prepared to live in a makeshift shelter. Also called the Festival of Tabernacles or Ingathering, it was held on Ethanim 15 to 21. It celebrated the harvest at the end of the agricultural year for Israel and was a time of rejoicing and thanksgiving for Jehovah's blessing on their crops. During the days of the festival, people lived in booths or roof-like shelters to remind them of the exodus from Egypt. It was one of the 3 festivals that males were required to go to Jerusalem to observe. By all accounts, if it's something that people still observe now, I saw it suggested that it was a way to get people ready for possibly having to do that again. When you think fuel shortages, electricity cuts, who knows what situation we could all find ourselves in at some point. Okay. Yeah, David, I will indeed remember your name. Mudlark, just think how people lived throughout history without electricity. They coped, and so will we. Yeah, while you're absolutely right, it would probably take some doing. It would be a culture shock for a lot of people. Mudlark says, I used to live in Eastern European, and the electricity and water was often cut off for days, but there were natural springs where we could fill up water bottles. Brilliant. For example, just imagine knowing how to build a well. I don't believe it is that... Well, it is obviously physical hard work, but it's pretty much just digging straight down. But of course... here's the thing. One of the channels I frequently mention is... websites is 153 News. I'm always mentioning them. The owner, the guy in charge of the site, Jason Boss, Not everyone's always got positive things to say about this guy, but I personally, I think he's, I enjoy the stuff he does. He did show how him and his sons were trying to build a well. I recommend this guy's channel. Yeah, it was over the course of a few days. He was showing his sons him and his sons were trying to build a well, and just how difficult it is. He's got 2 channels, perhaps it's the other one. I will leave a link to this channel. Where was it? That might be his backup channel. Right, videos. Yeah, I'm sure he put up a load of clips of him and his sons digging up a well, basically. 2 months ago, was that it? Now, I never really put too much thought into building wells or how you do it or what's involved, but by the sounds of it, about 3 meters down or so, is it? I'm not sure how far down it is. Well, I can't find that video that I was on about. Perhaps he's removed it. Yeah, a few meters down apparently is clean, fresh water that you can live off. So, yeah, and it, of course, in this country, England, we all pay for our water, and it's a bit of an insult, really, as it is public money that, in the first place, built all the sewers and all the pipes and all the water supplies. It is public money that pays for the water to be purified and cleaned and redistributed, and yet we still have to pay water rates. So, what an insult, hey? Right. Maria says, I bought a camping stove and have my food and candles stock all ready for the winter of discontent. That sounds like good advice. Thank you, Maria. And let's see. Who was the other person that mentioned the winter of discontent? Was it? It was. Susan earlier on said new prison camp being built in Wellingborough with crematorium. Just saying. Yeah, interesting point. I don't doubt that. Susan also earlier said, apologies for missing these comments. Well, it started off with Mudlark saying, I felt fear and doom last year when the nonsense started, but I don't care now. No, good. I'm glad to hear that, Mudlark. Susan says, what I fear is the V will be forced on us. See, I'm not so sure it will. Well, yeah. I don't think anyone will ever directly come round and force a needle into your arm, but they will possibly keep trying to convince you that life will be easier if you just take it. I mean, all this stuff with the passport that all of a sudden, like a day before they were set to bring it up, they changed their mind and scrapped it. So was that maybe because of a lot of outcry, public outcry, so many people against it, or who knows? At the time, a few people said, oh, now they've got rid of the idea of a passport, it means we'll be going straight back into lockdown. We'll see on that one. I'm really hoping that we don't have another lockdown, but you never know for sure. Okay, let me see. DJ Carrera says, power cuts, food shortages, internet blackouts, all to come. Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum coined the term the Great Reset and has mentioned about an internet attack. Yeah, I remember at the start of this year I did a live stream. It was what's going to come in 2021, and I had heard a lot of reports about it would be the year of the cyber attack, and I did think that the internet may be shut down. We're now in September and that hasn't actually happened, so I'm happy to admit I was wrong on that one. DJ Carreras, oh no, Mudlark says maybe by a generator. Yeah, but if they're not allowing you to buy fuel, of course there's some diesel engines that can be run off of, I want to say peanut oil or sunflower oil. I do remember a thing where people were able to change their engine to run off of like I'm sure it was vegetable oil or sunflower oil. Miss TEA, thank you for joining us. Yes, Sukkot, you're absolutely correct. Except that city dwellers aren't well equipped for scarcity. Do you know what, Miss TEA? I originally lived in a city, I live in a town now, and yeah, you're absolutely correct. I would struggle in a situation of scarcity. I mean, I could cope without toilet rolls or, well, for so long. But yeah, once they take your electricity away, once they take the supermarkets away, it's, I mean, we would, of course, get used to it. I do like to think I could live without air. I could live without the internet, without my phone, but personally, I have got very used to these commodities, and yeah, perhaps it is something I need to not be reliant on. Miss TEA says the elites and the technocrats have already built their luxury bunkers many meters below the ground. I don't doubt that. DJ Carrera says check out the futuristic city in Turkmenistan, the elite bolt hole. Okay, we will have a look for that. Turkmenistan. Right, let's see what comes up then when we search for that. I don't know why, but I mean, I don't know much about Turkmenia or Turkmenistan, but I wouldn't expect it to be that futuristic. Gas crater. Wow, look at the statues. It's by Uzbekistan. Now, are these countries, they say they're in Asia, but I thought, yeah, Kazakhstan used to be part of Russia, if I'm not mistaken. Right, let's do another search, actually. Futuristic city. It's interesting, a lot of these countries that we hear about, for example, North Korea, for example, I had heard it said that, I believe it was North Korea or South Korea, and it was somewhere they were giving people free electricity. People weren't expected to pay for electricity. And that may well have been the same in Iraq or Afghanistan. So they went in and started a war with them because they didn't want people to get used to being given free electricity. It does look like a very beautiful place. The Ark of Neutrality. The Ark of Neutrality is one of Ashgabat's stranger attractions and the centerpiece of what you could refer to as Niyazov Weirdistan, constructed to celebrate Turkmenbashi's national policy of permanent neutrality. Okay. The arch itself isn't inherently weird looking itself. Oh, it looks a bit like the 12-meter tall gold statue of a Sapamarat Niazov is without a question odd. He used to spin around, always facing the sun, but has since stopped rotating. The Arch of Neutrality reportedly cost $12 million to erect. I'm not sure if this is the actual country you are referring. The futuristic place you're referring to, DJ Carrera, but otherwise, yeah, let us know. I guess that's fearless leader, perhaps. Okay. DJ Carrera says there are mass protests over jab or job and vax passports globally. Yes, there's been a lot of. In fact, I did see an interesting video that I would be interested to kind of have a closer look at, because a lot of stuff's coming out of Australia at the moment, and yeah, it sounds like they're under some real hard, incredible stuff, what you're hearing. So yeah, I want to look at some of these videos. I may do a short 5-minute... Oh my goodness, did I not share my screen? My apologies, sorry. That was an error on my part. How long has it been like that? Please forgive me. Yeah, we will look at this place then. Ashgabat. Let's have a look. The only problem I may have actually is getting Google Maps to work on... Let's see. Alright, big maps. They're just as good as far as I'm concerned. Aerial. Okay. Yeah, I did mention a minute ago about maybe taking a short interval in a minute. Wow, look at... Yeah, it looks like a really well built, amazing country. Or amazing place, anyway. I bet there's plenty of obelisks, though. Well, that would be of interest to see how many obelisks take. I do find if you zoom out of an area, you can often see where the central place is. I mean, I would say the central point is probably here. So where's there? Where either there or here, and you can usually guarantee there will be an obelisk slap bang in the middle of one of these locations. Okay, not on there because it's a main road. Okay, what's this thing? Presidential Palace. I mean, maybe unlike here and most other countries, you don't see a lot of stuff about. Oh, can we go street side? Probably not. Didn't mean to do that. No, it's not available, unfortunately. Well, thanks for the suggestion, DJ Carrera. Check out Satellite View, and there's a YouTube video. We may have a look at that on my interval, perhaps. Quebec first responders have protested over jab or job, And France is constantly protesting. Brisbane, Sweden too. Yeah, weird patterns around Ashgabat. No, it looks really cool actually. I think it looks like a great place. How do you turn off street side? Yeah, no, it looks really nice. Out of interest, DJ Carrera, have you ever been to this place? It does look pretty amazing. Right, time is unfortunately ticking on. So, if I take a 5-minute, I'll come back for the last half hour and we will be looking at some of the protest videos that have come out. I do like to play a video though. Now, Ashgabat. Let's see. From above, we'll say. This could potentially be something to watch whilst I take a 5-minute. Let's see. No preview, that's annoying. Ashgabat by night. Huh. Weirdest city in the world. Is this perhaps the clip you were referring to? Right. Miss TEA says, looks like a lot of bunkers might be there. Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Miss, you did. Yeah, the elite bolt hole. Sorry, I'm with you now. What you were referring to. Hang on. I didn't actually see this bit. 3 minutes 20. Would that give me enough time? Alright, I tell you what then. We will play this for 3 minutes. Let me just put my notice on. Unfortunately, we will have to play the audio through the speakers, meaning it won't sound particularly good. And I can't mute myself, and you'll probably hear a squeaking noise in a minute, and that's me opening the door, just in case you're curious. Where's Be Right Back? There we go. Okay, I will be back within probably about 3 minutes, but in the meantime, as suggested by commenter and viewer DJ Carrera, we will have a look at the city of Ashgabat. I do want to read a comment by Mudlark saying they dropped face masks in England because of outcry over non-wearing of masks at Euro 2020, Wimbledon and G20. Is that why they dropped them? I am actually pleased to see they have sort of gone away. Alright, without further ado, I will be back in a few minutes. Yeah, massive thanks to everyone who has taken part in the live chat. If anyone's watching and wants to say hello, that would be appreciated. Yeah, when we come back, we will have a look at some protest videos that have come up, and yeah, we'll. I want to share a couple of things on it.
क्या आपको पता है दुनिया में एक ऐसा शहर है जहां बिल्डिंग्स मार्बल से बनी हुई? जी हाँ दोस्तों, हम बात करने वाले हैं आजगाबाद की। तो वीडियो को अंत तक जरूर देखें, क्योंकि अंत में हम जानेंगे इसके बारे में 7 अमेजिंग फैक्ट्स जो आपको चौंका कर रख देंगे। तो आइए शुरू करते हैं। आजगाबाद तुर्कमेनिस्तान की कैपिटल होने के साथ साथ वहां की सबसे लार्जेस्ट सिटी भी है, जिसे गिनीज बुक्स ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड में दुनिया का सबसे ज्यादा मार्बल यूज सिटी होने का टैग मिला है, जिसे देखकर आपको दूसरे दुनिया में होने की फीलिंग जरूर आएगी। यहाँ के प्रेसिडेंट वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड्स बनाने के लिए बहुत फेमस है। जिनमें से 2012 में गिनीज बुक्स ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड में दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा इनक्लोज फेरी व्हील बनाने का टाइटल इन्हें ही मिला है। साथ ही यहाँ दुनिया की कुछ सबसे यूनिक बिल्डिंग भी है, जैसे कि आजकाबाद इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट, आजकाबाद 2 टावर, पैलेस ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, मॉन्यूमेंट ऑफ न्यूट्रलिटी, जाइंट थर्मोमीटर एट आजकाबाद, ऑर्नामेंटेड टेलीफोन बूथ, आजकाबाद टेली रेडियो सेंटर, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मॉन्यूमेंट एट आजकाबाद और साथ ही सरदर हेल्थ पार्क जो 8 किलोमीटर जितनी लंबी। अब जानते हैं तुर्कमेनिस्तान के 7 अमेजिंग फैक्ट्स के बारे में। पहला, तुर्कमेनिस्तान दुनिया में सबसे कम विजिटेड और साथ ही सबसे महंगी कंट्री में से एक है, जहाँ का वीजा और सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स मिलना काफी डिफिकल्ट है। दूसरा, तुर्कमेनिस्तान की द दरवाजा गैस क्रेटर ट्रैवलर के लिए एक बहुत ही बड़ी आकर्षण है, जो रेगिस्तान के बीच में 48 साल से जल रही है, जिसे गेट ऑफ हेल भी बुलाया जाता है, जो जमीन के अंदर नेचुरल गैस ढूंढने समय एक गलती के कारण जलने लगी और तब से लगातार जल रही। तीसरा, 1991 में तुर्कमेनिस्तान के सोवियत यूनियन से अलग होने के बाद सफरमुराद नियोज़ोव वहाँ के प्रेसिडेंट बन गए और 1999 में असेंबली ऑफ तुर्कमेनिस्तान ने उन्हें जिंदगी भर के लिए वहाँ का प्रेसिडेंट बना दिया, जो फिर 2006 में अपनी मौत तक वहाँ के प्रेसिडेंट बने रहे। चौथा, तुर्कमेनिस्तान के पहले प्रेसिडेंट ने यहाँ काफी अजीब कानून लगाए थे, जैसे वीक्स के दिनों के नाम चेंज करके अपने फैमिली के नाम पर कर देना, अपने सिगरेट पीने की हैबिट को छोड़ने के समय पब्लिक प्लेस में स्मोकिंग बैन कर देना ताकि उन्हें कोई स्मोकिंग करते हुए ना दिखे। पांचवा, 2006 में दूसरे प्रेसिडेंट के आने के बाद काफी कानूनों को चेंज कर दिया गया और कई नए कानून लगाए भी गए, जैसे वहाँ केवल सफेद गाड़ियों को लीगल किया गया क्योंकि वहाँ सफेद रंग को गुड लक माना जाता है। छठा, तुर्कमेनिस्तान में ज्यादातर फोन्स के ऐप को ब्लॉक कर दिया गया है, यहाँ तक कि वहाँ ईमेल्स भी काम नहीं करते और ना ही आपको वहाँ कोई भी इंटरनेशनल ब्रांड देखने को मिलेगा। टूरिस्ट को वहाँ के लिए घूमने तक की इजाजत नहीं है, उन्हें हर जगह गाइड को लेकर जाना होता है। सातवां, कंट्री के अमीर होने के बावजूद आम लोगों के पास काफी कम पैसा है। ज्यादातर वेल्थ कंट्री में 10% लोगों के पास है, बाकी 90% लोग वर्कर क्लास के हैं, जिनके महीने की कमाई 10,000 के लगभग ही होती है। तो आज के लिए बस इतना ही दोस्तों। अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आई तो वीडियो को लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब।
Okay, that was Ashgabat, as suggested by DJ Carrera. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, and as you guys would say, bolt hole for the elite, no doubt. Right, we're now on to the, I would say, the final straight of this week's live stream. I will put a link to this video if anyone wants to watch the rest of it. It's only about another 20 seconds. If I use a video in my stream, I do like to leave a link to it. It's only fair, really. As I would hope someone would do the same if they ever used any of my clips. Right. Ashgabat video. Oh, didn't even type anything. I think my computer's starting to slow down. Right, yeah, couple of things. Oh, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. It seemed alright when I was watching it. Not enough video to maintain... Oh, I can switch off the be right back thing, can't I? Right. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that warning because it seems to be playing alright, I hope. Just seen this comment. The annual UN meeting is happening right now. Boris referencing Kermit the Frog. It's not easy to be green. No, you're absolutely correct. That was a video I was thinking of playing in with. There's a great YouTuber, James Ellie, and yeah, he had mentioned a very similar subject. Let's see. Yeah, talking absolute nonsensical. There was another wonderful YouTuber. he does comment on. He does come in the live chat sometimes when we do these streams. Level Earth Observer. Now he put a video up of here we go, Melbourne protests, and I'm a bit suspect. It's only 44 seconds. We'll watch this and I'll share my thoughts afterwards. Just for context, this was in Melbourne as protesters rushed the police. Now, in fact, this is probably as good a view as any that we need. Unfortunately, the picture quality isn't very good. Anyone who has followed a lot of my live streams will know that I've referenced a content producer over on 153 News, Jeffersonian girl, and they point out how quite often when they use crisis actors, the clothes they wear are colour-coded. All the basically just crisis actors that a background or always wear black and white, while those directors, the people directing the crowds, wear bright red, and if they're wearing blue or some other colour, it means they've got a part, like they maybe be involved in a scuffle with the police. Unfortunately, all I can see here is black and white, colour-coded clothing and bright red. But we'll look at some other videos and see if that is also the case. See? How come so many people came out that day deciding to wear black and white? And then again, red tops, red hat. And there's your guy wearing colour and he's involved in a scuffle. Oh no, actually he's not, is he? Red shoes, look at it. Red shoes, red. I mean, if it isn't colour-coded, then it's very coincidental. Oh. Right, Australian pepper spray used on anti-lockdown protesters in Melbourne. Let's watch it.
This is how fast YouTube
and let's see if the same things come up again. Skip ad. I do actually kind of feel bad sometimes skipping ads. If ever there is a channel that I enjoy and I want to support, I will watch an advert all the way through, because I think if it encourages them, if it supports their channel, I can spare 30 seconds to watch an advert. Some of them go on ridiculous amount of times. But anyway, here we go. Colour coding. Is everyone once again wearing black and white? Oh, that's the police in there. Oh, we'll do a bit of volume. Here we go. Someone wearing red, whilst everyone else is in black and white. Here we go. Red again. Red. Orange as well. Gets a good look in. I can't hear what he's saying. Look at those red hats. There's your directors. I mean, obviously real people do turn out for these events. I don't doubt that for a second. But whenever you get stories about, police brutality or big things happening, unfortunately, I do feel the need to look for colour coding. I'm not saying it doesn't actually go on, but if it makes it onto the mainstream, like AFP, I believe, I'm not sure what channel AFP is, a news agency. Yeah, I bet they had the majority of this lined up pre-planned. They don't send their news cameras out unless they automatically know what they're going to be filming. That's how I believe it goes. Yeah, that guy there is a director, and as you just saw, in fact, he waved his arms trying to rouse the crowd up. Can we get another shot of him doing that? Here he is, directing the crowd. Just there, guy with a hood on. Red scarf, of course. Yeah, as I say, real people do attend these protests, and well done to them. But whenever an organisation like AFP, with 1.26 million subscribers, whenever they release a story, a video, then here's another one. Lockdown protests turned chaotic 1 week ago. Riot police sent in to barricade Victoria's Parliament in a day of tradie protest fury. Right, I will have a look at the live chat. DJ Carrera again says the focus will shift to climate change now, and the little guy must suffer instead of the big polluters. Yeah, of course, they always find a way to tax anything that's damaging. Plastic bags, for example, damaging. So do they ban them? No, just chuck 10p on the cost of them. Sugar tax, for example. Sugar supposedly harmful, killing people. Well, we're going to ban sugar? No, just put sugar tax on. Cigarettes, for example, supposedly really harmful. Should we ban them? No, just keep putting more tax on them. Fuel, for example, petrol damaging the environment, supposedly. Are we going to ban fuel? Well, they're now talking about that, but not for another 10 years anyway. They're not going to ban it. Okay, let's see. Miss TEA says that DJ Carrera is absolutely correct. Yes, I think, well, certainly, it's actually interesting this time of year. September here in the UK is amazing weather. For me, it's the best time of the year for weather. You've got the bluest skies, you've got the nicest temperature. Certainly at the start and middle of September. And yet that's the time where they always, well, here in the UK a couple of years back before BS19, they were constantly, they were doing a lot of protests in September. And in fact, I remember in one of the videos on my channel is perfect weather belies climate change protests. In fact, we may play out on that one this evening. DJ Carrera says PK picked up on this. Is that a reference to the different color coding? PK may well have picked up on it also, but yeah, I'm gonna. This is a Jeffersonian girl on 153 News, and yeah, does some great. Oh, she's on BitChute as well. Was it BitChute that banned all their video makers or something? Crisis, yeah, does a load of great videos, and it was the first place I ever saw anyone. It was the first place I ever saw anyone mention the color coding. So I'm gonna put a link to her channel. I assume it's a her. Right. Jeffersonian girl on 153 News. Definitely check them out. DJ Carrera, sorry for the amount of posts. Absolutely no need to be sorry. Agreed, as that's it, what Susan says, agreed. Do not be sorry. I certainly encourage everyone to tune in, anyone tuning in to leave comments, as many as they like. I might not catch all of them, but I'll certainly do my best. Oh, about the red shoes you mean? Got it. Yes, now, again, I saw this on Twitter. Actually, it reminds me I never left a link. I usually like to share that I'm doing a live stream on Twitter, but did not get round to doing it this time. It's right, sorry, I'll get there in a minute. Either way, I mean, by the sounds of it, what is happening in Australia is disgusting. Here in the UK, flu season is just around the corner, and I've got a feeling that we'll be... Oh, here's some French protests. Let's see if we see any of the same stuff. By the way, Rodney Dangerfield throwing up the 666 hand sign, of course. Right. Vaccination obligatoire. That must be French for obligatory vaccinations. Now, again, you see lots of where these colourful tops have come from, who knows? Perhaps it's a uniform they've decided to wear. Perhaps they've been told if you want to protest, you have to wear bright colours, who knows? These people protesting, a lot of them are wearing masks. Isn't that exactly kind of what they're protesting against? Although I know it in masks. I mean, do you ever wonder perhaps they want to frighten people with vaccination to the point where they'll say, look, I'll do anything not to take the vax. I'll wear masks for the rest of my life if that's what is required. Not something I would ever say, but it's one way or the other, unfortunately. It's what they call a false dichotomy. It's either option A or option B. Either wear your mask or have your vaccination. Well, for me, neither. Ever. Right, if this is France, en français, why have they got English swear words? Do the French not have their own swear word? And freedom, why have they got safety zone? Oh, Melbourne, sorry, this is a French report on Melbourne. Got it, wow. Look at all those bright coloured tops. Look at all that orange. I guess these are emergency workers or public servants, whatever they call them. Nice bit of orange spray there. Get their 33 in one way or another. Oh, aiming right at the cameraman there. He isn't in the least bit bothered. Yeah, RT probably directed all this. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Oh, that was perfect timing. Just as the camera... Hang on, let's go back and watch that bit again. Just as the cameraman passed, the police started dragging this guy down the road, almost on cue. There we go. They all stood fine until the cameraman walked past. Again, fair play to these people protesting, but a lot of what gets reported is, I believe is all just done for the cameras, as it were. More World Scene in Melbourne. News.com.au. I don't care about skipping ads on their channel. Whoa, bringing the army in, that's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, perhaps the purpose of faking these kinds of scenes is to just convince people that, look, if you really want to go out and protest, this is what you're going to come up against. Keep right, I think that's interesting, just in the corner of the screen. Keep rights, no losing all your rights. All these police must have been drafted in ready, so they certainly knew what to expect. Oh. Was that an obelisk we saw there? Yep, right under all the monuments. Just like here in Trafalgar Square where they did all the protests under the monuments. Okay, actually I do have a bit of a segue. I can't think of the guy's name now, but Disbury, someone of the Disbury family. I'm curious what you guys think of this one. He has made lots of videos of the protests and stuff. One of which was David Icke talking. Now, let's just watch David Icke walk around the stage and see if you see what I see. I mean, I'm curious here.
That these storytellers will recall in the distant future.
Right, check this out. Now, regular viewers to my channel will know I've done plenty of videos about moon bumps. What is this thing around David's waist? Is that a fake stomach? If we go back a bit and watch a bit more, I'm actually going to mute it because I don't particularly want to hear what he's saying. I'm not saying he doesn't speak truth, but I'm not totally convinced by David Icke. 2 times on Terry Wogan, mainstream truther, as I would call him, controlled opposition. But I know a lot of people probably are fans of David Icke, so I'm not going to knock him or you if you like this guy. Fair enough. I just see things like this and think, hang on, is that a fake belly he's got on? Maybe it's something else under his top, but to me that just looks there like he's clearly got a white strap around his stomach. Unless, of course, it's a corset and he's trying to keep it all in. Perhaps he's like twice as big, and if he wasn't... But for me, it just looks like he's wearing a fake stomach. Perhaps I'm just a bit paranoid. Do you see what I mean? Right there. It could be a corset, of course. But I thought corsets would go all the way up and kind of squish everything in. And look at... Yeah, something about this guy, I'm just a little suspicious of him. See that thing there? Maybe he's holding it all in. Maybe perhaps he's trying to make his stomach look smaller, but yeah, me being me, I think it's the other way. I reckon he's got something on to make his stomach look fatter, but I'm not sure. I've probably looked at this before. Yeah, Miss TEA says you're not the first to have those thoughts about David Icke. No, he's yeah, absolutely not. Some girls, greetings and thank you for joining us. He is just obese. I am not into Icke anymore. Controlled opposition. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, Susan's Burn says that looks like a prosthetic. I'm just going back. DJ Carrera says yellow vest's been protesting for a very long time. Fair enough. Got it. And some girl says January the 6th was the mother of all FFs to take down an entire country, to take down the US. Gotcha. And DJ Carrera says research how hard it was to get obelisks to the Thames. Okay, I will do. I made one of my very early videos, which I think I've done on a rerun. I've played on a repeat of old streams. I made a video pointing out how between Bristol in England and Winchester, there is a line of Cleopatra's Needles, obelisks, whatever you want to call them, monuments, and they form a straight line that stretches for a good 100 miles or so. And it fascinated me at the time. I never really looked that close into it, but no, I can imagine they're generally solid pieces of cement, which but of course this talk that David Icke did here is anyway, there we go. Is it just a corset? Is it a vest? Who knows? For me, perhaps I'm just paranoid or very suspicious. It looks like he's wearing a prosthetic stomach. And there was footage once. It was a documentary following David Icke. Let's see if I can find it. It's just a couple of minute clips at the end. David Icke. And there was a very subtle clip right at the end. I'm not sure if I can find it. I've probably played it in the past. I don't know if I could find it now. It was, of course, on mainstream TV. And it showed him talking to his son, Gareth, and he stands up and takes a big gulp from a Tennant super can or something. And it was just an unfortunate look. Almost like that's what they want people to think about anyone talking about this kind of stuff. They're just a bunch of alcoholics, more or less. I'm not sure if I can find the clip now. I've probably shown it before anyway. Right at the end of the video. Where is it? Perhaps it's not on YouTube. I'm not sure. Some girls I did want to say. I remember you mentioning, like your mother in the past. I hope she's well. Of course, you don't have to mention anything about that, but best wishes to her. And I hope you're doing well as well. And thanks ever so much for joining the live stream. I hope I haven't missed anyone who's commented. And CC Jelly, greetings. Thanks for joining us. You say colour coding was key in Boston Trouser Bomb 2013. Pulled apart by PK. Yep, absolutely. PK did a wonderful job of destroying the Trouser Bomb. Some girls, I'll send you a link on Twitter from Fetzer. Okay. If you're doing it in a minute, I can check Twitter. Thank you. DJ says, maybe AJ and Ike are here to let us know their plans in advance and are preparing us. Perhaps. David Icke, coronavirus conspiracy theory, the danger of COVID-19 misinformation. That when you search for David Icke, that is the first video that comes up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that everything he says is wrong or that he talks complete rubbish. Yeah, as DJ Carrera says, perhaps they reveal truth through people like this for that very reason, just to prepare us. Who knows? The Osiris. Let's see. DJ Carrera, the Osiris phallic symbols usually have the female symbol on them. Vatican and Washington. Interesting. I did not know that. Osiris and Isis. Yep. I am vaguely familiar with the story. One of them was cut up into like 100 pieces. And was it Isis that put them back together again, but couldn't find the penis, so that's what every obelisk in the world represents? Something along those lines. I'm not sure. Some girl says, PK is awesome. If you put that link here, you will get a strike. Okay, I've got you. Right, I am going to start winding down shortly. I can't believe I've been going for 2 hours already. There was one last thing. Yeah, I wanted to find a picture of David Icke chugging from a super strong lager can, and although it was in a much more subtle way, it was like if you've ever seen Alex Jones where he comes on BBC News. And I remember before this, I'd seen Alex Jones and I thought, wow, this guy talks a lot of truth. Be interested to see what he says on BBC News. And he comes on, starts ranting, raving, screaming his head off, making a mockery of the whole thing. And I couldn't believe what I saw. Obviously now it makes sense. People like Alex Jones, David Icke, they are your safety net. They're there to catch anyone that wants to think, doesn't necessarily believe the official narrative. They go and have a nice piece of controlled opposition from the likes of David Icke. Okay. DJ Carrera says the Vatican hymns praise Lucifer. Vatican means divine serpent. Interesting. I wouldn't be at all surprised. I mean, the places where the serpent shows up. If I search... St. John's Ambulance, is it? You never have to look far. To see the serpent. Okay, it's not on this one. Who is it? I'm sure if you look on a lot of ambulances, or maybe it's a different organisation. I mean, they squeeze the lion and the... Is that a dragon? Yeah, there is UK ambulance. As far as I remember, pretty much every ambulance you see has the serpent crawling up the blade, or... Where is that? I probably won't be able to find it now. Oh, sorry, actually, just gone past it. Yeah, here we go. This is a very common... Oh, this is West Midlands ambulance, but of course they got the snake on there. This one again. I'm not sure who... that's the logo you get on every ambulance. Yeah, like, I really trust any organisation that put that on their logo. Right. I am going to have to... Right, there was one more thing I wanted to look at. Miss TEA says that first... Oh, the Cross of Malta. Is that what we're looking at here, or is that the image we had a second ago? I do not remember. Yeah. And Carrera confirms that Osiris was cut up and was put back together by ISIS. Some girl says, until Megyn Kelly took down AJ, before that he was a prophet. Fair enough. Miss TEA says the Vatican is the whore of Babylon. Yes, I think you're absolutely correct. Again, another wonderful channel on YouTube is the Parable of the Vineyard. Can I find that? Oh, not on there, I won't. Let me just find the Parable of the Vineyard. They have a website. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was these guys. And they did a really good breakdown of the Vatican and how... I'm not sure if I find it on here. I'd probably be more likely to find it on their YouTube channel. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've got a playlist on here where they go into details. It may be these videos. I'll have a look. I'm not going to play them all, but yeah, End Times, Israel Prophecy, Mystery Babylon, Mother of Harlots and Abominations, The Beast of Revelation. Yeah, I'm going to link to these, again, link to these guys and put it in the live chat. Parable of the Vineyard on YouTube. DJ Carrera says the London emergency services have the square and compass on them. Really? I don't doubt that, but I would like to see it. Central London emergency services. I imagine it's... I'm sure it's on there somewhere, but I cannot see it at the minute, although I wouldn't doubt for a second what you are saying. Okay, the last subject I'm going to talk about this evening, okay, is Ashley Kane. I have made plenty of videos on this guy. It turns out, now, I've gone on his Instagram account in the past. Let's go on his Instagram account now. Of course, if you're not familiar with this clown, he very publicly, him and his partner lost their daughter to some severe leukemia. How would you treat that baby, bearing in mind it's supposedly going through life-saving operations? But, you know, having... Oh, what's the poison they put in you to try and fight cancer? I do start getting forgetful at this time of night, so that is why I would need to wind down in a minute. But my mind's gone a blank. Miss TEA, you've subbed to Parable of the Vineyard. Good, I'm glad to hear it. They're a very informative YouTube channel. Yeah, chemo, that's it. Their baby supposedly had tons of chemotherapy treatment. Every time they went into... every day they pretty much went into the hospital, changed the baby's outfit, despite it being must have been an awful discomfort, and they took pictures of it for Instagram. Didn't ring true to me. It didn't also ring true when... Is that him? Oh yeah, he's changed his logo. And I pointed out for ages they had this Go Fraud Me campaign on... yeah, these people are about as vile and fake as you could possibly get. Disgusting people. cashed in big time on the death of a plastic doll. But anyway, that's for another one. Anyway, lots of people. Apparently, I'm not the only one that have been questioning this, because if we read the Scum newspaper, blind, ignorant comments. Ashley Kane slams vile trolls claiming he spent his late daughter's fundraising money on supercars and designer clothes. I've never specifically said that. I mean, I wonder if it is anything to do with the stuff I've said. But they've mentioned it in the Scum newspaper now. He hit back at an Instagram follower, well, I'm not his follower, so I don't know if that is me, who claimed he wasn't returning £1.5 million raised to treat 8-month-old leukemia before her death. Now, I've constantly gone on there and said to them, look, you have to shut this Instagram account down. I mean, this Go Fraud Me account down. They've now changed it. They've changed it to a foundation. Fearless in the fight against children's cancer. Bear in mind, the Azalea Foundation aims to support families that are fundraising for treatments that may not be readily available on the NHS. Bear in mind, charities are one massive tax dodge. So if an organisation, for example, want to dodge loads of tax, they donate it to charity. And just because it seems like it's in a good cause, I bet their priority isn't about raising or saving money. Yeah, I would be curious to know if Go Fraud Me, Ashley Kane thing is still going though. Let's see. But it was just, I found it interesting that they did address something that I came up with. Hang on. We'll put the correct title in. GoFundMe. Here we go. Help it. It can't possibly still have this Go Fraud Me open. Donate now. Yep. 1.64 million. They're still raising money to save this child's life. Only 2 days ago, they had a £20 donation. So yeah, they're still gladly taking money from this. They haven't updated anything since the 8th of May, when the child was still alive. I don't know whether it's still alive, who knows. Yeah, we hope you'll still continue to support us, even though the very cause, what they're raising money for, can't possibly be done. And they're not allowed to misappropriate funds. I've said this hundreds of times over. Anyway, it's now been addressed, and this Line Fraud has made a video on it. So we'll play that, and then we're going to wind down after I thank everyone.
A bit about the situation now, and relating to some of the things that were said.
By the way, look for what they call micro expressions, okay? For example, well, I'll stop the video when he does one.
Is that here?
There we go. Just did one micro expression. Where was it? Hang on. There you go. Sticking the tongue out is what they call a micro expression, and it is something that basically when people are lying or saying something that they're not happy or comfortable with saying, their body does stuff that give it away. They're basically comforting themselves by licking his lips, because it's anyway.
I actually got rid of my car.
This is in response to people saying that all that money was spent on cars and designer clothes. Here he is. Yeah, bear in mind one thing, let's put it into perspective. Why might anyone say this? Here he is posing with all these expensive night clothes, always orange of course, expensive bikes. The very first thing, in his own words, after the death of the child, let's see, here we go. Right now it's taken everything I have to begin each new day. The pain of not being able to see my girl is consuming my whole body, so this afternoon I put on my new running trainers. A pair of Nike, I bet they probably cost an absolute fortune. I put on my new running trainers that I bought after Azalea gained her angel wings. So after the child died, basically, he bought himself a pair of orange running trainers. What a bizarre thing to do after the death of your child. Who does that? Absolutely ridiculous. It's a joke. But of course, this is what he did to help him get through the loss of his child. Mental. Yeah, I've done loads of... I've made plenty of videos pointing out that this child looks very much like a plastic doll. Some of the pictures look very real, others not so much. I mean, that one, for example. I'm not going to get stuck doing this. I've broken this down enough, but yeah, the guys addressed it. Some girl says, do you know that George Floyd was 100% staged? Yeah. Some girls, I am well aware of that situation. In fact, again, I made one video on George Floyd, and it was that during the time when he was supposedly taking his last breaths, he clearly picks himself up off the floor. Susan says, I'm guessing we're referring to this vile piece of filth. Totally sold his soul. Yep. Some girls' product placement. Yeah, nothing like a bit of product placement to get over losing a child, hey. First thing, and like I said, I left comments on this guy's Instagram saying, I was respectful. I said, just thought you should know you need to shut down your GoFundMe because you're not allowed to misappropriate funds. You can't raise £1.5 million to save a child that's dead. You basically got to return all the money. And loads of people came back saying, this is probably the last thing on these people's mind. Of course they're going to do the right thing. They're not going to keep the GoFraudMe open. They have, of course, kept the GoFraudMe open. And it's just vile. This whole thing makes me feel sick. I just thought it was curious. Oh, by the way, I bet all those half of those tattoos are CGI. I bet they're not real. They're just transfers, probably. And of course, if they're not transfers, each tattoo probably costs the best part of £30. They're all going out getting themselves tattooed and at the same time asking you to give your money towards a child that can't be saved anymore. During his eulogy, I've covered this a few times, so I'm not going to do it again. Look, this is at the memorial for the child. Big smiles all round, of course. They all look absolutely devastated that this kid's died. See, everyone could not be more happy. They couldn't be happier if they tried. It's like they're posing at a wedding or something, or this is just a fashion shoot. Absolutely, or just another payday for each person. Disgusting. Okay, with that. Okay, some girl says those dolls look damn real. You're absolutely right. In a lot of cases, it does look very real, but it's worth noting that his brother had a baby like a few days before, also a girl, and they could switch them around anytime they wanted. Anytime you, and like this for example, when he took it out, it was always covered, and then look at that plastic arm in there. I don't think I can zoom in close enough even if I wanted to, but hang on. Yeah, look at that plastic arm. Hang on, I'll try and get I think it's a plastic arm anyway. It looks ridiculous, whatever it is. I'll try and get a close up. Yeah, you're right. Some girls, they do... Oh, what did I do there? Oh, I have no idea what I did there. Right, sorry people, we are coming to an end very soon. I'm just trying to... Right, one more try. Yeah, I'm not sure what. Look at this gold-rimmed, gold-lined pram. It's absolutely ridiculous. Oh, is that as good as the picture's going to get? Yeah, it looks bloody weird to me. It doesn't look right. It looks fake. They look plastic. I mean, that's meant to be a set of hands. There's nothing remotely real about this story, in my opinion. But I agree, the dolls look real, and that is why they use them. They do a cross between photo shooting, CGI, and just using blatant dolls. There is one image where I think it looks really fake. Most of them they have done pretty good, pretty flawless. That looks very plasticky. Yeah, there's one where it's sat in a window. Let me just find that. That again looks like a plasticky doll. But then that, for example, looks real. Could be a real baby. I wouldn't, not saying they don't sometimes perhaps take pictures of real babies, but the majority of the time, yeah, CGI doll. I can't even go through this and look at it, I don't think. I've done it so many times and I end up coming away. Yeah, look at the way they wobble this supposedly terminally ill child. Look at the way they shake its head around on this video. You see, she's got its head on its neck, twitching it up and down. She's wobbling its hands and legs around like it's inanimate. I mean, who holds a baby up by the neck and starts twisting it around like that? I can't watch it. Sorry, I am going to have to shut down. Okay, on that note, I would like to... I normally play out with a video, but I don't think I will tonight. Actually, I did do what I call a bonus live stream on a Thursday and Friday, I think it was, because I never got to... I never did a proper live stream. Last Sunday, so I did do a bonus one. I think we may play out on that, actually, if you guys don't mind. Yeah, I would like to finish by saying a huge thanks to everyone who's tuned in. But a special thank you to some girls, Miss TEA, DJ Carrera, Susan Byrne, let me see, anyone else commented? Mudlark Digging Up the Thames. I know we had David comment earlier. Did we have Crazy Hippo Lady? No, CC Jelly it was, yep. Mudlark Digging Up the Thames, of course. Susan Byrne, I believe I've already said. Yeah, huge thanks to everyone who has got into the live chat and left a comment. David from earlier, I'm not sure if you're still with us. If you are, thanks for staying the whole way through. Maria Ellender, was it in earlier, commenting. Big thanks. Yeah, and if I have missed you so far and you want to get a bit of acknowledgement for leaving a comment, then probably a good time would be now, just to stop in and say hello. Yeah, massive thanks to everyone who tuned in. Miss TEA said, I wish I'd joined earlier, but thanks for the last 45 minutes or so. See you again soon. Yeah, I do try and do a live stream every Sunday. Unfortunately, last week I didn't manage one. Oops. Do you know what I haven't run all throughout the entire video is my little warning on the bottom of the screen that says any copyright protected material used in this video is for the purposes of review and education in line with fair use copyright laws, just in case someone wants to nab my strike me for copyright. Susan in the chat says, good night, everyone. Yep, you've been with us since the very beginning, Susan. You were the first commenter this evening, so huge thanks. I will do my best to be back next Sunday. Yeah, am I going to play out with my bonus live stream that I did on Friday? It was literally just a couple of minutes of me walking that is what I'm going to do actually, and then it gives yeah, and then I'm not just cutting down straight. 1 second, people. Thanks. Right, so write a little note. Thanks everyone, and good night. I do find actually sometimes if I yeah, whenever I start winding down and saying goodbye, generally just at that point someone new joins the live chat or something, and I feel bad for like ending. Okay. Yeah, like I say, I'm gonna try and be back. I should be back next Sunday. I will do my best. Yeah, good night, TEA. I hope you can join the next live stream. I do. Should be next Sunday. Oh, and says truthfully, the baby looks real, but if ill, would look very waxen. Okay, fair enough. The baby may look real, but what doesn't look real is how the parents behave. As I said, they go in every day. They went in and made the baby put on an outfit just so they could get a photo for Instagram. Pictures of them laughing and joking outside the hospital, like running and bragging about how many bathrooms they got in their home. It's the parents aren't legit. The funeral, for example, where Ashley Kane can't even get on stage and talk for 5 seconds without laughing. Yeah. So, yes, but you're absolutely right. I totally respect anyone else's right to have a different opinion on this story to me. I do keep an open mind, so I'm not going to say there's 100%, there's no way they had a really ill baby. Who knows what's going on? But what I saw on Instagram, yeah, I don't believe any of that's rubbish for a second. Yeah, Miss T, yeah, I can see that they're awful people. Yeah, of course they are. I mean, buying Nike Air trainers when you're then going out asking people to donate money, it's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, we're going to play out on a video. I'm going to shut the microphone up in a second. Let's see, where are we? Oh, that is the video there. Okay. Yeah, this is a couple of weeks ago. I did a vid about, before the summer, basically. Back a few months back, I did a video about a new cell tower. Well, I was walking past it the other day, so I did a bonus live stream to make up for me not being around last Sunday. If you haven't seen it, this was it. It's only 5 minutes long or so, and at the end of this, I will end the stream. So take care, everyone. As I said to everyone who's commented, I massively appreciate your input. Have a wonderful week. Who knows, I might even get a new video up before next week. But if not, I will see you then, all being well. Right, my microphone is going off now. Thanks everyone, and good night. And enjoy the video we're going to play out with. Did one of these streams in pitch black, didn't work very well. So I thought I'd come back. Well, I found myself in the same place, and thought I'd record it again with a bit of sunlight this time. Hopefully the signal won't be terrible. Yeah, this is just a quick bonus. I didn't manage to do anything Sunday evening when I normally do, and this coming Sunday wouldn't say is impossible, but could also be difficult. So yeah, if I can come to you in the afternoon for a little bit. There is apparently down here a bridge which you can go under, but yeah, I'm not risking that one. I've already got my feet more or less in the water. Yeah, we're right underneath that huge cell tower. Don't know why I keep going back to it, but I will zap the record button. Right, we'll get to it in a minute. Yes, apparently if you walk, where is it? You can literally go underneath the road. I've never done it before, but I have seen others do it. Ooh, nearly stepped in something there. Alright, gonna film the cell tower and then I'm gonna shut off. Another beautiful September day. Blue sky. Oh, Breck, what up, bro? I am walking back. Had to go to the sorting office to pick up a parcel. Anyone who caught yesterday's? Yeah, I walked past a football stadium, didn't reveal which one it was, and asked for any guesses. No one guessed. Hey ho. But I'm buying it now. I'm also walking in some pretty off-road terrain. But there's a real nice stream just on the other side of those hedges. No, that's not the stadium. Well, it is actually. You live in the forest? No, not exactly. Believe it or not, though, this is just around the corner for me. I live in a row of houses pretty much, but there are a lot of trees. That's Wiltshire for you. Very green. Although I think most of the country is pretty much the same, really. Although, I'm not sure about... There's another bit of off-road. Let's just have a wander through here. This is all en route to my... on my back. Yeah, there's a bridge where you can literally go right underneath the road. I thought it was back that way, but it's not. Just down here. Yeah, basically just recording the cell tower, really. Try and see it in daytime. I think it's colossal. You can just see it through the trees. Hang on. Oh, barely, right there. Don't know if you can see the tip of it there, just in the middle. That's where it is, by the way. Chippenham Town FC. You think the towers hurt you? I'm not convinced. Not particularly. I don't know. I mean, we've had one along the road for years. Who knows what they do? One thing I will say is I do tinnitus really, and I do partially wonder. It's different as normally they at the top they've got kind of round tops, but this one's got what I'm guessing is 5G outputs, which is just a particular frequency. I'll get across the road, and here it is. They've got loads of these gates next to them. The one along the road I was stood at last night, and you could feel tons of heat coming out of it. It was really warm. Right. Last few trees. And there's a lampshade. Why not? Yeah, I was going to say in Wiltshire, blessed to have lots of like fields that are just open to be walked through. Yeah, I mean, it must belong to someone, but yeah, who knows who. Right, that was pretty much it. That's all I come on to. Do you see it from here? Not quite. Oh, but do I think they hear you? I think if you live too close to them, it might be a different story. I think they could give you headaches. And yeah, I was mentioning tinnitus because I went down to Weymouth one for a few nights and it pretty much went away. I'm just trying to think whether that had any effect on my... And I mean, obviously by the sea, you're not completely surrounded by these things. So, who knows? Yeah, I mean, right, that is where we're going to call it a day. Thanks, old Breck, for saying hello. Yeah, that's it for me. I'm going to try and be on Sunday evening, but no guarantees. I'll do my best though, and if hope you can tune in. All right, take care. I'll be back soon.